Hey guys, so today we are going over part 1 of the test review. This test will be cumulative, meaning it's going to have information from the entire 6 weeks on it. So everything that was on test 1, everything that was on test 2, and then everything after test 2 as well will all be on this test. So just make sure that you are completing both parts of the review because this only has half of the topics on it. There are 12 topics total, and then we're going to go over 6 of them today. So I will be doing the top half of each topic section, and then where it says now you try, that is what you guys will turn in. So the first topic we're going to be going over is synthetic division. And so I did leave little reminders at the top on each of these. So in case you need them, they're there in case you forgot how to do each of these. So when we're doing synthetic division, what we want to do, so first we got to make sure that it's division, because if it's substitution, it has the same process, but it's going to look a little bit different. So since we know that we're dividing, we're going to take the opposite of this. So x equals -3. -3 will go on the outside of our box. And then we're going to make sure that we have all of our powers. So our highest power is a 3, then a 2, then a 1, and then we have our constants. So they're all there and they're all in order. So we will put the coefficients. Remember to make sure it's in order. Meaning the highest degree is in the front, and then they count down from there. And make sure that none of them are missing. So we drop the first one, and then we multiply the two outside numbers. So -3 times 2 is -6. -5 minus 6, -11. -3 times -11 is +33. -1 plus 33 is 32. And then -3 times 32 is -96. And then 3 minus 96 is -93. That's going to be my remainder. So when I write my answer, we drop down 1 power. So this is x squared, this is x, and that's my constant. Then my remainder. So I have 2x squared minus 11x plus 32. So then we put our remainder over whatever we divided by. So whatever's right here, we take it as it is to put it underneath our remainder. And then that would be our final answer. So whenever you're dividing, you should end up with a polynomial as your answer. So then we'll do the next one. We're going to take the opposite here. So this is x equals +3. We're going to make sure that all of our powers are there and that they are in order. So the highest one is a 4, then a 3. We're missing a 2. And then a power of 1, and then a constant. So we're just missing the x squared. So we got 1, -2, 0, 3, and 1. Like I said, we're going to take the opposite with that factor over there. And so we've got 3 on the outside. Multiply the two outside numbers. 3 times 1, +3. -2 plus 3 is 1. 1 times 3 again is +3. 0 plus 3 is 3. 3 times 3 is +9. 3 plus 9 is +12. 3 times 12 is +36. And 1 plus 36 is 37. So we drop down degrees. This is cubed, squared, x, constant. So when I write my answer, I'm going to say x cubed plus x squared plus 3x plus 12 plus 37 over x minus 3. And then the next two will be for you guys to do. Make sure that you check if it is in the right order, and also that all the powers are there. Then we have synthetic substitution, where we're given what we are plugging in to our polynomial. And so we might be given it where it says x equals c, or we might be given it where it says find f of whatever number. So then when we have our answers, it's whatever the remainder is. So it's the same process, but the remainder is our answer. So on this first one, and make sure all my powers are there and that it's in the right order. The highest one is a 4, so then we should have a 3, which is missing, a 2, and then we're missing a 1. So we would have 3, negative 2, whoop, see, I already made a mistake. 3, 0, negative 2, 0, 4. And when we are doing substitution, we take that other number that goes on the outside as it is. So we're not going to change this. It stays exactly the same, so it stays a negative 4. Drop the first and multiply. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. 0 minus 12 is negative 12. Negative 4 times negative 12 is positive 48. Negative 2 plus 48 is 46. Negative 4 times 46. Negative 184 times negative 4 is positive 736. 4 plus 736 is 740. So f of negative 4 is 740. Then we'll do the same thing with the next example. Check that all my powers are there. The highest one is a 4, should go 4, 3, 2, 1 constant, and it does. So I'll take their coefficients 1, 3, negative 6, positive 8. And we're plugging in a negative 4 again. Drop the first multiply. 3 minus 4, negative 1. Positive 4, negative 2, positive 8, positive 2, negative 8, 0. So f of negative 4 is 0. The next topic we're going to be going over is long division. So when we are using long division, remember we're going to focus on that first term, whatever it is, and that's what we're going to be checking to see how many times would it go into blank. So on these, we also have to make sure that all of our powers are there. We go 3, 2, 1 constant, so everything's here. And r plus 5 goes on the outside. Focus on the r. So to get from r to r cubed, I would have to multiply by r squared. So r squared times r is r cubed. R squared times 5 is 5r squared. Then I'm going to change both of those signs because we are subtracting that entire thing. So these two will cancel. 8r squared minus 5r squared is 3r squared. Drop down the next term. Then to get from r to 3r squared, I would have to multiply by 3r. 3r times r is 3r squared. 3r times 5 is 15r. So we're going to change both of those signs. First two will cancel. 17r minus 15r is 2r. Drop down that last term. To get from r to 2r, I would need to multiply by 2. 2 times r is 2r. 2 times 5 is 10. And then we will change both of their signs. 2r will cancel, and then 10 minus 10 will also cancel, so we get a remainder of 0. So my answer is r squared plus 3r plus 2. Then for the next one, we're going to do the same thing. We want to make sure that all of our powers are there. We go 3, 2, 1, constant. So they're all there. I'm going to write it over here. Oops. And on this one, we see that we're using a 2x that we're focusing on, and it's going to work the exact same way. So we focus on the first term. So to get from 2x to 2x cubed, I'll need to multiply by another x squared. Again, if you can't remember or you can't like visualize, well, how would I get to that next term? Take the term you're trying to get to, which would be 2x cubed, and divide it by the underlined term. Your 2's would cancel, and then we subtract those powers, so we'd be left with x squared. So that's where I get that number on the top from. Then you're taking the number on the top and multiplying it by the entire thing that you're dividing by, so by 2x minus 3. You should get 2x cubed, and then x squared times negative 3 is a negative 3x squared. Remember that we are changing both of their signs. So those two will cancel. Then negative 7x squared plus 3x squared is negative 4x squared. Drop the next term. To get from 2x to negative 4x squared, I would need another negative 2x. The negative 2 times negative 3 is a positive 6x. Change both of those signs. This becomes a plus. This becomes a minus. Cancel. And we have 20x minus 6x, which is 14x. Drop the last term. To get from 2x to 14x, I would have to multiply by 7. And then 7 times negative 3 is negative 21. Change both of those signs there. 14x, 14x, those cancel. Negative 21 plus 21, those cancel. So we do not have a remainder. And so our answer is x squared minus 2x plus 7. Just be aware that if you are given something like this on the test, you have to use long division, because we cannot use synthetic with a coefficient on our variable. So if we had this first one with the r plus 5, you could use synthetic if it didn't tell you to use long division, but on the second one with the 2x minus 3, you would have to use long division just because it has a 2 in front of the x. Now on the next topic, we are classifying our polynomials and saying what their end behavior would be. So on this first one, we have x to the 4th power minus 4x squared minus 3x plus 1. So my degree is 4. Number of terms is 4, since none of those can combine. And my lead coefficient is 1. So for my classification, I'm just looking at the degree and number of terms. This is a quartic polynomial. And then my end behavior. So my degree is even since it's a 4. And then my lead coefficient is positive. Positive tells me the second arrow is up. Even tells me they're facing the same direction. So my end behavior would be up, up. On the next one, we have x cubed minus 9x squared plus 24x minus 14. None of those can combine. So my degree is the highest exponent that I have, which is a 3. Number of terms, since none of them combined, I have 4 terms. And my lead coefficient is 1. So my classification of degree 3 and number of terms 4 would be a cubic polynomial. And then end behavior, my degree is odd and my lead coefficient is positive. Positive tells me the second one would be up, and odd tells me they have to be opposites. So then you have to classify as well. Now on the next one, we have some applications of polynomial division, meaning we've got word problems to work with. So make sure when you're reading these that you are aware of what you're looking for versus what you're given, so that way you know what the process is going to look like. So on this first one, it says a rectangle has area of this polynomial and width of a minus 8. Find the length of the rectangle. So they tell me what the area is, what the width is, and I have to find the length. Area of a rectangle is length times width. So if I need to find the length, it will equal my area divided by my width. So I have my area divided by my width. And that looks like something that I'd be familiar with. That would be a synthetic division problem. So I'll set it up. A minus 8, I'm going to take the opposite of that for the outside. So positive 8 goes on the outside, and then I'm going to make sure all my powers are there. Highest one is a 3, so it goes 3, 2, 1, constant. They're all there. I'm going to take out their coefficients. 1, negative 14, 46, 16. Drop the first and multiply. 8 times 1 is 8. Negative 14 plus 8 is negative 6. 8 times negative 6 is negative 48. 46 minus 48 is negative 2. 8 times negative 2 is negative 16. 16 minus 16 is 0. So we're not substituting, we're not finding what the value is, we're finding the length. So we need this entire polynomial that we get from it, which would be a squared minus 6a minus 2. And the next one, we have this amount in a polynomial of tile to cover a rectangular room's floor. The length of the room is n plus 2. What must the width be to have enough tile? So again, we're given the area, and we need to find the width. So this time we have width would equal area over the length. So the area has to be the amount of tile that we have, because if it's any bigger than that, we're going to run out. So we're going to divide by the length of the room to find what the width of the room must be. So again, we have a synthetic division problem. Take the opposite, and then look at my powers, make sure they're all there. 3, 2, 1, constant, perfect. Take out their coefficients, 8, 9, negative 19, negative 10. Bring down that first number, multiply, we get negative 16. 9 minus 16 is negative 7. Negative 2 times negative 7 is positive 14. Negative 19 plus 14 is negative 5. Negative 2 times negative 5 is positive 10. Negative 10 plus 10 is 0. So the width would have to be this entire polynomial, which would be 8n squared minus 7n minus 5. So then you have two problems that look like the one we just did, the two that we just did, sorry. And then the last topic for today's part of the review is adding and subtracting polynomials, but when we have word problems. So remember that when we are subtracting, we're going to change all the signs in the second set of parentheses, but when we are adding, we're going to keep all of our signs the same and just drop those parentheses. So on this first problem we have, it says Best Buy made this polynomial on Black Friday, and they decided to extend their deals through Saturday and made an additional polynomial of dollars. How much did they make that weekend? So that weekend of Friday and Saturday where they made these deals, we're going to add them together. So on these, you do have to note whether you are adding or subtracting. I'm trying to find out how much they made, and I'm given two amounts for how much they made on two separate days. So I'm going to add those together. So I'm going to drop the parentheses and combine my like terms. None of my signs are changing. So I'll write it over here. The highest exponent I see is a square, and I have 8r minus 6r squared. So that's 2r squared. I use both of those. Then it would be my r's. I have 4r plus 4r, which will give me 8r. And then my constants, I have negative 3 plus 6, which will give me plus 3. So then that is how much they made that entire weekend if we were saying that our polynomials were dollar amounts. The next one, you need this polynomial of money to buy your dream car, and you currently have this polynomial. So how much more do you need to make to pay off your dream car? So I have some amount, and I need to get to this amount. So how do I find out what I still need? I'm going to take what I need. Let me write it down. So it would be amount total that's needed. So the cost of the car minus what I have. So I'm going to take 8r plus 6r to the fourth plus 7r squared minus 7r to the fourth plus r squared plus r. Remember, when we subtract, we have to change the signs of the second set. So I'm going to drop the parentheses on the first. 8r plus 6r to the fourth plus 7r squared. Nothing changed there, but now everything changes. Minus 7r to the fourth minus r squared minus r. I'm going to combine my like terms. 6r to the fourth minus 7r to the fourth is negative 1r to the fourth. And then 7r squared would be the next one since I don't have any cube terms. So 7r squared minus r squared is plus 6r squared. Then my r is 8r minus r, which would be plus 7r. And then any constants, which I don't seem to have. So my final answer would be negative r to the fourth plus 6r squared plus 7r. So then the remaining problems are for you all to work. There are only 12 problems total for today for you guys to work